And we are back with another episode of the 6 Yard Line podcast. And we are here to review Noel, a banger of a game when it comes to uh, goals, drama, back and forth. When you think it's going to end this way, it doesn't. It goes that way. I know you got some things to say, so I'll let you take off on this one. Go for it, bro.
Honestly, we moan about VAR, right? And we moan about, and I moaned at you last week about Liverpool's goal was a big toe between being onside or offside. And I think what happened this weekend, look, at the end of the day, Brentford were just on fire. And then all of a sudden, Burnley were denied one of the greatest comebacks in Premier League history. Not once, but twice. Once by the offside flag. And then they give Jaden Anthony's shoulder offside. His shoulder. Like, how ridiculous have we got when we've got a shoulder is offside? Like, come on. Like, it's just so nuts. When we had a big toe last week and Liverpool won because of a big toe. This week we've got a shoulder blade. Like, so if you're a skinny guy, you're going to get some offside calls in your favor if you're a defender. Like, it's like, come on.
If we were under the Wenger's offside rule, neither of those would have been. Then it would have been a different story, right?
Yeah, it's just funny because I saw Jaden Anthony after the game said he's like, yeah, I heard my shoulder was offside. Which, if you listen to that statement, my shoulder was offside. I've heard Chance singing his nose are offside at, a couple of the players before. But, actually, what's his name? I forget it. They used to call him Harry Potter. John Joe Shelby. I've heard him sing his nose is offside. But, when you listen to an interview and somebody's saying, my shoulder is offside, and you just denied one of the great story comebacks. Burnley, people have written Burnley off. They got nothing to lose. They're going full hell for leather to try and get out of relegation. They're 3-0 down. They're back in it. They're coming back. They could be in the lead 4-3. This could be a story that just, it's like the Liverpool Newcastle game from the 90s that was that, Collymore scored, and it was just end-to-end, like basketball style. All hell breaks loose. One of the greatest games, even today, to sit down and watch highlights of. Just such a great game. This is up there. Yeah. But it ends up with Brentford getting the win. And you got to feel bad for Burnley. And I do feel bad for them. They scored 5 goals.
Yeah. And you got to think.
And it's just VAR again. And I'm sick. You just said it to me off air. I'm sick of talking about them interfering. They interfered in the Man United game and got it all wrong. They interfered in this game. And I'm sorry. If his shoulder is offside, let the bloody goal stand. Like, it's so ridiculous. I'm so frustrated. And I'm not even a Burnley fan. I am so annoyed for them. It's not even funny. And again, you want to talk about absolute banger of the week. It's that game. I honestly had everything.
I mean, and what makes it worse is even if you have no hat in the game, you don't care who wins or loses. You're taken away and disappointed with how that played out, right? Because you're going to feel it wasn't all played out on the field, right? Whether you agree with all the VAR calls or not, you're going to feel the VAR interference kind of took away from how the game may have or could have truly played out on the pitch, right? And that's the disappointing thing that we end up discussing week in, week out. It doesn't matter on who's playing. And sometimes it doesn't matter whether VAR gets it right or wrong. It's just the fact that, and we spoke on this briefly before, like, how is just the general fan supposed to appreciate football when you have this to deal with week in, week out?
Well, we haven't even got to this is the thing, we haven't even got to the 99th minute of the game. Like, go to the 99th minute, Burnley now trailing 4-3. And Ashley Barnes thought he'd equalize with the final kick of the game. And we had a 5-minute VAR attempt to determine whether the ball struck his arms in the build-up to the goal. Took them 5 minutes. So they got robbed again, and you just sit there going, what the heck? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I hate the handball rule. Like, I moan about it all the time. I don't know what handball is anymore because, like, I watch
And
some
that's the
games,
thing.
and it's clear and obvious to on some games. If it's Chelsea playing, it's handball is what I've established. If it's Man United, it's handball. If it's anybody else, it's open to debate. And
Here's the
that's
thing.
what I'm so irritated by it, right?
Here's a question I have with regard to handball, right? Because when we grew up understanding a pretty simple, basic understanding of it, which is if you reach out here, the ball's going in that direction. That's ball hand. That's ball to not hand to ball, where you're reaching. So that's intentional. If your hand is right by your body and it hits you, you're not. There's no there. How is that handball? Especially if you're like it just deflects off of you, and you don't go like this. You're standing like you literally in an like, or you're turning away from it, like you know what I mean. Like at a certain point, you have to determine like what truly is handball. If your hand is literally sucked into your body, should that be called handball?
No, because that's the thing. If they always say if it's, is it in an unnatural position? And I hate that word because, like, you see when guys go up in the air to get the ball, they use their arms. You see guys that, when they go to block a shot, like when we used to block shots, we used to, used to try and turn you back because you didn't get walloped in the stomach with it. We used to turn you back on it. But at the end of the day, when you turn, your arms turn with you and they come out. And I saw one of the day where it flew off someone's elbow on the back side, and they're like, no, he's not even looking, and I'm okay with that. But the problem is, it does hit his arm for Ashley Barnes. It does hit his arm,
Yeah.
But again, we have this rule now where if it touches any part of the arm and it causes to a goal, it's automatically disallowed. So by the rules of the law, it is correctly disallowed. I just don't agree with it. I just think if he's not really, if he's not moved his arm, like we've seen people move. Thierry Henry is the greatest example in the history of the game, where he kept the ball in with his hand and sent Ireland out the World Cup. To this day, still one of the biggest crimes, and reason why VAR is here is because of moments like that where people blatantly cheat. Luis Suarez has had about 9 of those incidences. So, I just, I felt bad, and I just feel like, again, it's like you had this absolute game that could have been an absolute Premier League classic, and it might still be, but for all the wrong reasons. It's the fact that VAR spent almost 9 minutes in the game trying to make decisions, right, that only seemed to affect one team. And at the end of the day, I think Scott Parker was quite reserved in his thing. He said, if it's offside, it's offside. If it's handball, it's handball. But, if I'm a Burnley fan, I feel like your team just gave absolutely everything. And if you're Brentford, you dodged a bullet.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, right? Because especially when you're up, was it 3-0? Were they up by 3 at one point, or was it? Yeah. So you're up by 3, and you let. Well, I don't want to say you let Burnley, but Burnley decided to show up, give some fight, and yeah, that's you're very, knock on wood, that you're able to get that late goal to walk away with the 3 points, because you didn't. Yeah. I don't want to say you didn't deserve it, but you, in many ways, if VAR calls somebody flipped a coin and they went the other way, you may have been walking away with your head down.
They dodged the bullet, and the VAR, all it got was heat. So again, Premier League needs to be better. They just need to be better, and they need to be, there's a couple of things that need to be.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No, I know.
You're talking about. Come on now. And this is like I said, because next week there's midweek games, right? If we get a chance between, I guarantee there's going to be a game that we're going to discuss because of VAR. This is something, and like I said, we said we could do a show about VAR. It's pointless. It's pointless. So we'll leave it. We'll end it there.
Unlucky Burnley. Unlucky. Feel for you.
Facts.
Thanks
All
for
right,
watching,
don't
guys.
forget to hit the like button, and of course, if you aren't already, subscribe. So, see you guys next week.